Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is George Kingori. I'm your online finance guy who speaks about all things finance. How you can be able to save, how you can be able to invest, and how you can be able to grow in your financial affairs. And today I'm going to speak about an emotive topic, and that is why you should not be paying high cost fees for high cost private schools for your children, for yourselves, and for others. Why should you not do it? So the first thing that is related to these private schools is the social pressure. Yes, you must understand that the people who take people to these high-cost schools either have made it or are pretended to have made it. They drive big cars and speak big things, and in meetings they speak about great things and a lot of these other things. The social status playing at that level is very high, and people are always looking to outdo one another, and you can get into the social pressure of wanting to show that you have made it yourself. And when you enter into this social setup that is bound to make you want to show that you have made it and you are doing it and you are doing great things, then the social pressure at that level is high, because you have to show not only with your mouth but also with action and with words. You can even find yourself wanting to hire a car to go to these meetings to be able to show that you are making it in life. The social pressure at that level is extremely high. The other thing is the costs beyond the school fees is even greater. You might find that they may be requested to do other activities that are beyond where the school is. They might go for fancy trips and fancy locations and camping and all this and these other things. And because it is a high cost private schools, they will not go for and the normal camping that you know, more of a glamping. That is where they live in a fancy way, in an ideal situation and location, which comes to extra money for you. In fact, if you pay say $1,000 every single month because of fees for that school, then be assured that an additional 50% of those fees will go into these additional costs. So you find yourself having to pay a little bit more than what you thought that you would be paying for. So if you're going to budget for school fees, budget that 50% more will be for these other additional costs, and they do add up. So they come with additional costs that you may not have catered for or planned for. The other thing is, the more these children go up in their classes and in their levels, and in their classes and levels, the more the money you pay. Actually, I looked at one payslip of a non-school in Nairobi. The school fees will go up subsequent level by 15%. Yes, so if you are paying $1,000 for this class, then the next class would go for $1,150, 15% more. Why? The classes are the same, the teachers are the same, the food and the expenses are the same. So why is the cost going up as you go? It is because if you are given a big bill in the initial phase, you feel the pinch. But if that bill comes gradually over time, you do not feel the expenses creeping in. So once you budget when your child is coming into that school for a certain level, know that the costs are going to go up and up and up, and they're going to eat into your finances sooner than you think. So that is one of the biggest things about private school fees. Then the other thing is, children are raised in a bubble. Children who are raised in these private schools are exposed to a certain social iota and class that is a bubble to the actual realities of the day-to-day lives of these children, the day-to-day lives of other citizens in that country. They live in a bubble, and they may not be able to adapt should circumstances change. Should your means or your money change, should they need to change to a low-cost school or a government-sponsored school, they may not be able to adopt. They may not be able to adapt to that standard because they are raised in a bubble. They are raised to eat certain types of food. They are raised to meet with certain type of people. They are raised to go to school in private means, And when they needs to change, either you move to a different location that does not have similar schools, or your economic status does not allow you to continue paying to that school, they may not be able to adapt because your children have been living in a social bubble while they are studying in that school. So if it is your desire that they live in this bubble, secluded from the realities of the real world, then it is fine. However, if you do not want them to get into that social bubble and that bubble of life, then ensure that you do not take them to these schools. Then the other thing is, there is no direct impact of these schools to the future of your kids. Yes, there is no direct input. If we are talking about university education, then maybe so. Actually, university education may actually impact them, because university education will be able to give them the networks, will be able to give them the opportunities, will enable them to be able to meet with people who might play a role in their movement up their career ladder. Actually, the alumni that are in that university, or the various people who are in the specific groups in that university, may play a hand in enabling them to land their first job. So university makes sense. But for small time children, or for small children and private schools at lower levels, they do not make head or tail. Say that you want to meet with certain people who are able to take their children to that school. So it is you networking with those people, not creating networks for your children. It does not make sense. If you do it so that you can be able to create networks to help your children, only at university level can this actually make sense. Ask yourself, how many of the people that you went to in the lower levels of school do you actually talk to? Do you actually remember? Do you actually have a conversation? How many of them actually have helped you in your life? So ask yourself, if the questions are no, no, and no, then private school, especially low-level private primary schools and secondary schools, make no sense. Go to university, take them to the best universities, the high-cost universities. It will actually play a hand in their career lives. Then the other thing is the loss of investing funds. Once you take your money and put in these private schools, and remember, the money that you're putting in is growing every single month. Once this money grows every single month, then you are setting yourself up for lack of having enough money to be able to invest either in a house, a home for your family, or in investment vehicles that will be able to allow you to be able to generate additional income, passive income for your future in retirement, or for your current to be able to boost your income levels. So you are denying yourself the opportunity by taking this money and giving it to a private school as opposed to investing it. So that is one of the ways that you are losing money that you otherwise have invested should you have put it in investments. Then the other thing is pressure. Peer pressure in your kids. My friend, if you have ever talked to children, they tell you about, oh, my friend did this, oh, my friend did this, they went to this holiday, they did this and this and this and that. And when they go to an extremely expensive private school, the pressure even goes up a notch higher. So if you are struggling with all your money to take to this private school, then the social pressure after holidays will hit you like a ton of bricks. They will tell you, oh, our children went to the Seychelles, oh, our friends went to Dubai, oh, these are the pictures, oh, this. My friend, it can actually pinch you. So beyond the fees that you pay, then you have to again entertain them so that they can be able to have stories. Because when your children, all the stories that they tell is how they spend their time with their parents, maybe watching Netflix, then they might not actually be the most popular children in school because their stories are neither here nor there and do not actually excite or create excitement to these other children. So the social pressure on your children is extremely high. So these are the reasons that make me want to tell you, do not take your children to high cost primary schools, secondary schools that are high cost in nature and are going to eat into your finances, because when you think about it, it might not actually make sense. So if you have any more reasons, please remember to leave them behind. And if you are against this video, also leave a comment behind, because I would like to learn and to hear from you so that we can be able to help each other in our financial journey. Thank you and enjoy your